The cranberry sauce wobbled slightly in my grip as I stood on the porch of my parents' sprawling colonial house in suburban Connecticut. Inside, through the frosted windows, I could see the swirl of cousins, aunts, and uncles under the warm glow of the antique chandelier Mom had inherited from Grandma. Laughter bubbled out, mixed with a clink of wine glasses. For a split second, I picture myself pivoting back to my car, heading to my quiet condo in Hartford, and curling up with takeout Chinese instead. But then Aunt Linda spotted me, waving enthusiastically. "Avery's here," she called, and the door swung open. Dad enveloped me in a bear hug, his cologne a familiar mix of pine and old books. "Our financial wizard has arrived. Right on time, as always." The words were meant as praise, but they stung like a paper cut. Predictable Avery. The reliable one. The one who never rocked the boat. I handed over the sauce with a smile that didn't quite reach my eyes. My outfit, a simple wool sweater dress in navy blue, felt plain next to the sparkling sequins and silk blouses dotting the room. Mom pecked my cheek, her diamond earrings catching the light. "Sweetie, you made it. And you brought just the sauce." Her glance flicked to the empty driveway behind me, as if expecting more. "Just me," I replied lightly, though my chest tightened. "Made it fresh this morning." Uncle Tom clapped my back. "Avery, the numbers girl. How's the corporate grind treating you? Still catching those embezzlers?" I chuckled politely. "I'm a forensic accountant, actually. And yeah, it's steady." The conversation shifted as quickly as it started, everyone drifting back to their clusters. I grabbed a sparkling water from the bar cart, watching the room hum with energy. Then, the front door burst open, and the energy spiked. My sister, Brooke, swept in like an autumn breeze, 40 minutes late. Her Burberry trench coat slung over one arm, a Louis Vuitton tote swinging from her elbow. Her hair was perfectly tousled, makeup flawless, as if she'd just stepped off a runway in Manhattan. "Sorry, everyone." The drive from the city was a nightmare, construction everywhere. Mom rushed over, beaming. "You look radiant, darling. Is that coat new?" Brooke twirled dramatically. "Guilty as charged. Picked it up on Fifth Avenue last week." Sometimes you just have to splurge, right? I sipped my water, the fizz burning my throat. Brooke hadn't held down a real job in 4 years, flitting between influencer collaborations and startup advising gigs that sounded impressive but never seemed to pay the bills. Yet here she was, the star of the show, while I, the one with the 6-figure salary and the corner office, faded into the wallpaper. Dinner was announced, and we filed into the dining room, the table groaning under platters of turkey, stuffing, and all the trimmings. I ended up sandwiched between Cousin Jake and Aunt Linda's new boyfriend, whose name escaped me. Across from me, Brooke held court, spinning tales of her latest venture, a boutique wellness brand partnering with celebrities. "Avery," Jake leaned in during a brief pause, his voice hushed. "Quick question. I've got this tax mess from last year. Any tips on deductions for freelancers?" I brightened, finally feeling useful. "Sure. If you're itemizing, look into home office setups. There's a new IRS guideline that..." Mom's voice cut across the table like a knife. "Not at dinner, dear. Numbers can wait." "Brooke, tell us more about that LA trip." The table chuckled, and I stared at my mashed potatoes, fork idle. Brooke flashed a dazzling smile. "Oh." Avery's always buried in spreadsheets. No wonder she's always pinching pennies. The words hung there, casual but cutting. My face heated. "I managed just fine." Brooke raised an eyebrow, swirling her Merlot. "Do you? Then why are you always hitting me up for cash?" The room went still. Forks paused midair. 22 pairs of eyes darted between us. I'd never asked her for a dime, not once. But the lie slid out so smoothly. No one questioned it. I've never. I started, but Brooke waved it off. Come on, sis. Begging for loans? It's getting embarrassing. The accusation hit like a gut punch, inverting our entire reality. No one jumped in. Not Mom. Not Dad, who both knew the truth about the money flowing the other way. Dad cleared his throat. Hey, did anyone see that Patriots game? What a comeback. The conversation lurched forward, burying my humiliation under football stats and dessert plans. I sat there, numb, flashing back to age 12, when I'd loaned Brooke my allowance for her prom dress because she needed it more. Practical Avery. Always the giver. When pie was served store-bought, not homemade like I'd planned, I excused myself to the guest bathroom. Locking the door, I pulled out my phone, opened my banking app, and stared at the recurring transfers, 5 of them, all to Brooke's accounts. For years, $48,000 total, an average of $1,000 a month. Rent assistance, credit cards, even her gym membership. My thumb hovered, then pressed. Cancel, 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 cancel. Confirmations popped up, one by one. I splashed water on my face, dried it with a monogram towel, and returned to the table. My plate was untouched. Everything okay? Mom asked absently. Fine, I said, a calm settling over me like a blanket. Just not hungry. My phone buzzed. Bank alerts. It was done. For the first time in years. I wasn't funding her facade. The next morning, sunlight slanted through my condo's blinds as I booted up my laptop at the kitchen island. Coffee brewed, its aroma grounding me as I opened a new Excel file. Brooke financial history. Row by row. I transferred data from my statements, every wire, every Venmo, just this once that became forever. Student loan top-ups, hers, not mine. Phone bills, even a down payment on her condo that she swore was temporary. The total glared back, $48,000. I saved it to the cloud, backed it up twice. Evidence, just in case. My phone lit up, Brooke's name. Call after call. Texts piled in, payment bounced. What's wrong with your bank? Fix this now. By noon, they turned frantic. Credit card declined, call me. This is serious. Avery. I silenced notifications and kept working. Afternoon brought Mom's call. Avery. What's this about money? Brooke says you're ghosting her. Her tone dripped disappointment. Like I was the problem child. I've been covering her bills for 4 years. Mom. $48,000. She lied at dinner. So I stopped. A gasp. That's not how she tells it. You know she exaggerates when stressed. It's a lie. And you know it. Silence. Then Dad took the phone. Pumpkin. Brooke's business is rough right now. Family helps family. She doesn't have a business, Dad. And I've helped enough. He sighed. You've changed. The words twisted, but I held firm. No. I just stopped being a doormat. The call ended awkwardly. A cousin Jake texted next. Heard about the blow-up. You okay? I explained briefly, and word spread. By evening, Aunt Linda called. Shocked. You've been paying her way? But she drives that Mercedes. No one had known. All those years. Ides que pat vacacions. Worn the same coats. While Brooke jetted to Aspen. The fallout hit like a slow-building storm. By the 3rd day, my inbox overflowed with family texts, some supportive, others accusatory. Uncle Tom. Blood is thicker than water. Avery. Reconsider. But Jake. About time. She's been playing everyone. I focused on work. My audits sharper than ever. As if shedding that financial weight had cleared my mind. That evening, I treated myself to a new espresso machine, something I'd eyed for months, but couldn't justify while subsidizing Brooke's lattes.
No guilt.
Just quiet satisfaction. Then came the office ambush. Returning from lunch, I spotted Brooke in the lobby, pacing in Louboutins and a cashmere wrap, tears streaking her foundation. Heads turned colleagues.
Client.
How could you do this? She wailed loudly as I approached. After all I've done for you, I kept my voice even. Not here, Brooke. But she amped it up. You've always been jealous. Now you're cutting me off when I need help the most. Security glanced over. But I waved them off. I've paid $48,000 of your debts. That's help. Her eyes widened, then narrowed. Liar. You've been borrowing from me. The inversion fueled my resolve. I pulled her aside to a conference room. Door closed. I have proof. She crossed her arms. This is sabotage. Mom and Dad are devastated. They should be about your lies. She stormed out. But the seed was planted. That night, more calls. Mom, fix this. Avery, you're breaking her heart. I sent the spreadsheet. Silence followed. Then Dad, we need to talk.
This
is a lot. For once, they listened. A week later, the Real explosion came at 10 p.m., a pounding on my condo door. Brooke stood there, disheveled.
no makeup.
In sweatpants and a hoodie. Let me in, she pleaded. I did. Warily. She collapsed on my couch.
Sobbing.
Everything's falling apart. The cards are maxed. The condo's behind on HOA fees. Evan, my fiancé, found out. I handed her tea, listening as she unraveled. I just wanted to keep up appearances. Everyone expects me to be the successful one. By draining me, she flinched. It was temporary. I'll pay you back. With what? You haven't worked steadily in years. Her defenses cracked. You're so perfect, with your job and stability. You don't get it. I opened my laptop, showed the spreadsheet. Rows of red. $1,000 here. $800 there. Her face paled.
That's
exaggerated. Numbers don't lie. Brooke. She left in tears, promising change. But I locked the door with finality. Family ripples intensified. Group chat blew up. Brooke posted a vague status about betrayal from those closest. Responses poured in sympathy for her. Prayers for me as the troubled one. Aunt Patricia called. Cold. Avery. Forgive and forget. But Grandma. Sharp as ever. Proud of you.
dear.
Boundaries matter. Dad emailed. Reviewed your docs.
Shocked.
Sorry we didn't see it. Vindication mixed with sorrow. I'd hidden it to protect them, but it had enabled her. Months ticked by. I invested the freed-up cash, stocks, a Roth IRA, watching my savings grow. Work promoted me to senior analyst. Praising my focus. Brooke? Radio silence at first, then tentative texts. Job interview tomorrow, wish me luck? She landed a position at a marketing firm. Entry-level but steady. Evan, her fiancé, stepped in, helping with budgets. One evening, Mom called, voice softer. Brooke's paying her own way now. Thanks to you setting that line. It wasn't praise, but progress. The turning point arrived unannounced, a family Zoom call Dad scheduled. We need to address this head-on. Faces filled my screen. Mom fidgeting. Brooke pale. Evan stoic beside her. Aunts and uncles curious. No Marissa-style theatrics. Brooke looked grounded in jeans and minimal makeup. Evan spoke first. I've gone through our finances. Brooke's debt totals $92,000, half covered by Avery over 4 years. Gasps echoed. Mom, that can't be. Evan shared screens, statements. Purchases, spa days. Designer shoes. Trips masked as business. Dad's face hardened. We thought you were thriving. Brooke. She teared up. I wanted to make you proud. Avery's always the smart one. I had to keep up. Aunt Linda. By exploiting her? The truth hung heavy. Evan outlined changes, selling luxury items.
Budgeting apps?
Therapy for spending habits. Brooke starts counseling next week. Mom protested weakly, but Dad nodded. Necessary. Turning to me. Avery.
We're sorry.
We enabled this. The call ended with awkward goodbyes. But seeds of change sprouted. Brooke texted, "Thank you for the wake-up." A month later, a deposit hit my account. $500. First installment, her message read. More to come. I replied. Appreciated. Not warm, but honest. Family dynamics shifted. Dinners became genuine.
No facades.
I hosted one. Simple pasta. And talk flowed about real struggles. Jake's layoff. Linda's health scare.
No competitions.
6 months in. Peace settled. My condo felt like home, new art on walls. A gym membership I'd always wanted. Work thrived. I mentored juniors. Drawing from my own lessons and boundaries. Brooke, promoted at her job. Paying steadily, $6,000 back so far. Evan proposed properly. A quiet affair. Mom called weekly, asking about me first. How's your portfolio? Dad inquired. Genuinely. But echoes lingered. At a coffee shop meetup with Brooke, she confessed, I resented your stability. Made me feel like a failure. I nodded. And I resented being invisible. Tears fell. Hugs followed, not full forgiveness, but a bridge. Thanksgiving rolled around again. This time at Brooke and Evan's modest townhouse in New Jersey. No grandeur, just string lights and a folding table. I arrived with homemade apple crisp, nerves tingling. Dad opened the door. His hug warmer. Good to see you, kiddo. Inside. Sense of herb-roasted chicken. Turkey was too extravagant, Brooke joked. Mom kissed my cheek sincerely. You look well-rested. The table held 10.
Intimate.
Brooke served. Apron over casual attire. Dig in. Evan toasted. To honesty. Hard but healing. Conversation meandered. My recent trip to the Adirondacks, funded by my savings. Brooke's work wins. Parents' garden woes. No lies.
No pedestals.
After. Brooke pulled me aside. I get it now why you stopped. I was drowning us both. I squeezed her hand. We're floating now. Back home. I journaled. $48,000 wasn't just money. It was years of silent self-worth. Boundaries aren't walls. They're lifelines. Family love shouldn't cost your soul. Yet questions haunt. Would I do it again? Enable for love's sake? Or cut ties sooner? The line between help and harm blurs in blood ties. What about you, faced with a sibling's sinkhole? Do you throw ropes forever? Or teach swimming? Sometimes, the kindest cut saves everyone.